All right, here's an automation that would solve the problem of your business cards. The business cards comes in all shapes and sizes and designs, colors and fonts, right? And you get a lot of them. So it's always a great idea to digitize them because these are contacts. So you have to capture this information and store them. Getting it one by one, manually typing them is an old way of working, right? Now you have OpenAI Vision, you can automate this. So what you do is that you get a photograph with your phone and you upload that image to a Google Drive folder and you connect that Google Drive folder right here. Once you do that, the automation will download the image, convert it to base64 format, and then it'll send it to the OpenAI Vision model. Right here, I'm making an API call, and it will process the business card in the way that I have been instructed in the prompt right here. This is the prompt. You can download the blueprint of this template and you can run the template, like click here and import blueprint. And this is the prompt. You can go to the OpenAI playground and paste the prompt here and test it with your own business cards. Once you do that, this is what I'm going to extract. These information like name, designation, phone, email, addresses. Now, phone numbers, they can be more than one, so it's an array. Email, they can be more than one email address in any business card. Addresses, the same, it's an array. And the company name, website, and the category. The category right here, I'll get back to that later. And I'm going to output a JSON object like this because I need a clean JSON object as an output from this module. And that's what I get right here. Body, choices, collection, message. This is the JSON object that it gave us. Once you have that, you can parse the JSON object. We get all the information here. Once you have that, it will load that information to a Google Sheet. And the Google Sheet should be something like this: the name, designation, phone, email, address, company, website, and the category right here. I'll describe that category in a moment. Now you should create this Google Sheet somewhere. Now I have it here. In this module, when you're using this template, you have to connect that Google Sheet right here. And what's happening here is that I'm using zero bounds to validate the email addresses. As you can remember, there could be more than one email addresses in the business card. So I have to validate all of them. I'm making two lists right here, one for the validate email addresses and one for the invalid email addresses. Why I'm doing this? Because I'm capturing data right here. I like to capture quality, valid data. If you capture data, don't capture garbage. Always validate your email addresses. I'm going to update the row that I've just recorded with the valid email addresses. I'm going to send myself an email if there are any invalid emails. This particular contact right here have this invalid email. So you can either call them, or if you have access to them in some way, you can ask for the valid email address, because email addresses are very important. And in this section, I'm capturing the phone number list, the valid email list, and the address list. It's going to be an array of addresses. I'm going to store it into my Firestore database. Now this is Firestore. Now this section is about logging this information to the CRM and my email list. The CRM requires the name in the format of the first name, middle name, and last name. It needs the address, like the address line, the state, zip code, and country in that format. If you look at my JSON file right here, this is what I get. The address, for example, is just one string. The address line 1, the city name, the state, the zip code. There's no country here in this case. And your name, for example, the name is just one string, Alexis Robinson. So I have to do some processing here and identify the first name, the middle name, and the last name. In case of the name, it's really simple. I'm going to split them. I'm going to do some processing, split them by space. I'm going to get the first name like this, the second name like this, and the third name like this. I'm going to do some processing, and here's the company name. But when it comes to the address, it's a bit complicated. So I'm using chat completion module right here, with this prompt. What I'm simply doing is I'm asking it to decide what country it is if the country is not given based on the information of the address. And I'm going to ask it to output a clean JSON file with the address line, the city, state, zip code, and the country. And it gives me that information. I'm going to pass the JSON file. And now I have all the information, so I can load them into the CRM and the email list. That's what it does. And what are these iterators, by the way? Every time you see an iterator, understand that I'm going through an array, because we are having few arrays here. If you look at the JSON file that we're getting, the phone numbers is an array, email is an array, address is also an array. So there are 3 arrays. That's what I do. I'm going through that array, the email array, to validate them. Here I'm going through the phone list array. Here I'm going through the valid email array, so I can log them into the Firestore database. Here I'm going through the address array. Oh, there's something I completely forgot about this automation. It's the category. How to categorize them. There are different types of people gives you business cards, right? It could be leads, yes, but sometimes it could be suppliers, consultants, collaborators, investors, marketing firms, anything. So in the prompt, in the guidelines, number 6, the category will be the handwritten text. You need to clearly identify it. All right. The handwritten category label could be presented in the photograph in different ways. For example, written on the card, pasted on the card and a piece of paper, and written on something like a piece of paper and placed by the card. So that's what's happening here. Because when someone gives you a business card, you have to categorize them. If you want to do it manually, it takes time. But now you can take advantage of the vision capabilities. What I'm going to do, I'm going to handwrite the category. In this case, it's supply. I write supply. Here I write consult. Here I write collab. Here I write investor on a piece of paper. And I paste a label on it, like marketing. Another one, lead. Because the card is black, right? You write it on a piece of paper and paste it on it. Sometimes you can write it on a piece of paper and place it by the card. Because this is AI vision, make sure that your handwriting is clear. Write something like this. The doctors don't do that. Doctors' handwriting is not accepted. And now here in the prompt, I give clear instructions to the AI how to categorize them, how to identify these labels. If I write collab, it's called categorize them as collaborator. Supply means supplier. Marketing consult means a consultant, investor. Peer is a peer. Now, another name for peer is a competitor. I don't have competitors. I have peers. So that's my word. You can use any word that you want, but you can amend this. You can add your own labels right here. And once you do that, the AI will follow these instructions and do the categorization accordingly. For example, here, the categories are recorded like this here in the Firebase. If we go to the category, the category investor right here. As a recap, that's how you do categorization in this system. You're not doing it manually, you're doing it automatically, but you have to clearly label. You have to have predefined labels. You have to write it in the prompt, and you have to write them on the labels like this. Once you do that, you take the photograph, upload it to the Google Drive folder. The automation will do the categorization for you. All right, let's see where this automation fits in the data pipeline. To understand that, you have to look at what the automation does. You get a business card, you scan it, and you capture information. So data collection is where this automation fits in, which is not a surprise because these types of automation that you see online 99% of the time fits here, the data collection. It's not only data collection because there's some data storage component here as well, because we are storing data in the Firestore database and on Google Sheets and so in the CRMs as well. So what about data cleaning? We focused on capturing clean data. For example, here in this section, we captured the valid email addresses. So capturing valid email addresses means capturing clean data, but it doesn't count as data cleaning. Why? Because data cleaning in data pipeline is a different operation. In there, what happens is that you retrieve all the data from stored sources like spreadsheets, databases. Then you remove the duplicates. You fix the missing values. You format the data like date formats and genders. That's data cleaning. But what happened here is that we had this mindset of capturing clean data. You have to have that, because here what you do is collecting data, so don't collect garbage. That's why this automation looks a bit complicated than it should be. Actually, this whole section right here wouldn't be there if we didn't have this mentality of capturing clean data. This whole section wouldn't be there. This section wouldn't be there. This section wouldn't be there. A lot of this stuff wouldn't be here if we didn't have the priority of capturing clean data, because all this is about validating email addresses, processing the first name, last name, the middle name, processing the address. Why do you spend that much time on that? Because data is king. Data is that important. So in the data pipeline, if you capture as clean data as possible, it makes everything clean down the line. If you capture garbage, it'll be really hard for you to clean this data. Your data processing will be crippled and you will get bad insights, bad AI automation, bad results down the line. Now we have done all this. Now what more can we do with this? Because now we have captured the information like the name, phone numbers, website, email addresses, and everything. Now it's a good time to do enriching, especially if these are leads. Now you can go to the websites and scrape information from there. LinkedIn profiles, and scrape information from there and perform lead enriching. That opportunity is now wide open for you. Now you have to take advantage of it. So I'm not doing it right now. I'm doing it in a later video. So subscribe, stick around, and we'll do that later in very near future. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention. If you're customizing this template and you want to make any changes to the prompt, make all the changes right here in the OpenAI playground and test it with your business cards. And once you're done, select the whole prompt and go to this link. I'm providing this link. Paste it right here. Copy this code. And this is the prompt that you have to paste right here. Not this clean one. Because this is a make an API call module and you have to pass valid JSON object as the body. You have to use the prompt and stringify it in a way that's compatible with the JSON script, and you have to convert it. So you don't have to manually do it. You can use this tool. Just paste it right here and the tool will generate the stringified version here. Just copy it and paste it right here. That's something I forgot to mention. All right, with that said, thanks for watching. Enjoy the resources and see you later. All right, bye.